A fact is not a thought, it's a footprint. Something stepped, something happened. The world left a mark you can find again. All episode we've watched possibilities narrow into outcomes, clicks and counters, lines and ledgers, patterns that refuse to leave once they've arrived. Now we answer the quiet question beneath it all. What, precisely, makes a fact a fact? Here's a simple rule you can carry anywhere. The receipt rule. To graduate from rumor to reality, a record needs 4 qualities. First, robust. A gentle nudge can't erase it. The note survives a little noise. Second, redundant. It's copied in many places, so no single smudge can make it vanish. Third, retrievable. With the right tools, anyone can read it, not just the first witness. Fourth, reconcilable. Different readers get the same answer when they compare notes, if there's a receipt. Durable, duplicated, readable, and agreeing, you've got a fact. And if you already ask for sources, timestamps, and independent confirmation, you're closer to a physicist than you think. Curiosity and care are superpowers. Thank you for bringing them. There's another gentle distinction that clears a lot of fog. Private logs versus the public ledger. Before anyone compares notes, each detector, each lab, each person keeps a local diary. This is what I recorded. That diary is real for the tool that holds it, a local fact. But reality becomes common ground only when diaries meet, when independent records match. When my log and your log line up, we've built a public fact. It's the same move a newsroom makes when it asks for 2 sources, or a scientist makes when a different group reproduces the result. A fact for me becomes a fact for us when records meet and match. You may notice what's not on this list: a human gaze. In physics, observation isn't a mystical look. It's interaction plus amplification plus record. A Geiger counter in an empty lab is already a careful observer. A photographic plate remembers a particle's path whether anyone stares at it or not. People are exquisite detectors, curious, creative, meaning-making, but the universe can write in its own hand. Philosophically, though, we still have room to wonder how best to tell the story behind the receipts. Think of it as 3 lenses you can try on, different metaphors, same maths, same scoreboard of records. Lens 1. Objective collapse. Perhaps nature has a tiny built-in tendency for superpositions to snap into definite outcomes. Rare for atoms, frequent for elephants. If so, we can hunt for that snap in ever larger, quieter experiments. It's a bold idea because it's testable. If the snap is real, we will hear it. Lens 2. Relational or cubist flavors. Here, a fact lives between systems. Statements are about who interacted with whom. Probabilities are personal bets, updated when outcomes arrive. When observers compare records, their private stories reconcile, and a shared world emerges. Reality in this picture is what interactions agree upon. Lens 3. The pragmatic engineer. Don't pick a metaphysical fight. Build a better instrument. Use the theory, tighten the error bars, cross-check the data, ship the satellite on time. If the record is robust, redundant, retrievable, and reconcilable, it lives in our shared reality, good enough to navigate by, good enough to build on. 3 lenses, 1 scoreboard. Records you can't unwrite. So how do you use this? Beyond the lab. Here's a small fact finder toolkit. 5 questions that work for physics, journalism, and everyday life. 1. Where's the record? Point me to the raw data, the log, the specimen. 2. How many copies? Independent labs, sensors, archives, redundancy matters. 3. Can I retrieve it? Methods transparent, access possible, steps repeatable. 4. Do the copies agree? Reproducibility is reality's handshake. 5. What did it cost? Real records leave footprints, energy spent, time taken, heat made. If making or erasing the record had a thermodynamic price, it's far less likely to be a mirage. If it leaves a trail you can follow, it's real enough to share. If you've ever double-checked a claim, asked for the source, or repeated a small experiment on your kitchen table, You've practiced quantum wisdom. You turned a private log into part of a public ledger. That's how civilizations learn. Let's gather the threads. A fact is a record the world has written in stubborn ink. Consciousness doesn't sprinkle magic. It brings meaning, questions, and the courage to compare notes. Interpretations offer poetry around the receipts, but the receipts themselves, durable, duplicated, readable, agreeing, are where reality touches all of us at once. We began with a solitary click in the dark. We end with a chorus of clicks, a sky full of records. Through them, the universe not only reveals itself, it gives us a way to agree on what we find. In that agreement lies everything from medicine to spacecraft, from weather forecasts to whispered promises kept. Carry this with you. Be kind to claims, but kinder to evidence. Ask for the receipt. Celebrate when it arrives. And remember the line that has quietly guided our whole journey. Reality becomes common ground when records meet. Listen for a moment to the quiet. Somewhere, a counter ticks once. Just one soft click in a darkened room. That's where we began. A single photon choosing a detector, one trace scratched into memory. Now lift your gaze. That solitary click has company. Our world is a sky filled with them. Radio dishes logging pulses from distant pulsars. LIGO noting a tremor in space-time. Cameras counting starlight one grain at a time. We live inside an ocean of records. Tonight we've seen that measuring doesn't simply peel back a curtain to reveal a finished stage. It helps write the script we can share. Measurement is a promise kept, information copied, amplified, and made stubborn against forgetfulness. That stubbornness, what we called a fact, isn't magic. It is work done, energy spent, tiny notes filed into the universe's ledger until many readers, arriving by different paths, can all agree on what's written there. And here's the quiet marvel. You joined that work. Every time you insist on clarity, ask for evidence. Compare notes with someone who saw from another angle. You're practicing the same craft as our best instruments. You don't need a kilometer-long interferometer to be part of the story. Your attention is an instrument. Your patience is calibration. Your kindness, when you fold another person's observation into your own, is the art of building a shared world. We met the puzzle of observers and left superstition at the door. No special mind power is required to make reality behave. But minds are. Minds are remarkable because we can choose which questions to ask and how to listen. We can engineer gentle looks that guide rather than break. We can design experiments that let truth echo enough times to become common ground. In a cosmos where information is physical, curiosity is a renewable resource. You have it in abundance. Hold that thought and look outward again. The Milky Way is a library whose pages turn slowly, each supernova a punctuation mark, each planetary transit a footnote in a patient book. The universe notices itself through every trace left behind. Dust warmed by starlight, neutrinos threaded through rock, a fossil ring in ancient mica, the glow on a sensor in a midnight lab. When those traces meet, they cohere into the world we agree upon and call real. We'll close with a simple idea that points toward our next chapter. If facts live where records meet between system and detector, between you and me, then, perhaps the deepest description of reality is not a list of isolated things, but a web of relationships. In episode 10, we'll follow that thread all the way down. How connections might build space, time, and the very notion of here with you. For now, take pride in the journey you've made. You stayed with difficult ideas, asked fair questions, and held two possibilities in mind until the evidence chose. That is not only good science, it is good citizenship in a shared universe. This is Cosmic Canvas, where the universe is not only studied, but painted in meaning. Until next time, keep asking, keep looking up, and never stop wondering.